we come to a moment where some of these things can be exposed. And the question is, which ones should be and which ones shouldn't be? Which ones is it good to expose to friends or to more wider people? Which ones is it bad to expose in that space? And for me, honestly, I know this is incredibly, utopian, naive view, but to some extent, I think we're in a really good period because we're starting to codify what things are creepy, what things are wrong, what things are weird, and what things are normal and okay. Whereas previously we just went with physics. So I think, that's one. Shut up. I think that's one kind of core thing. No one's going to start a new project that and make a success out of it that freaks a whole bunch of people out. Facebook, as an example of something that does freak a whole bunch of people out, is probably because of its scale. Google, when it freaks people out, it freaks people out because of its scale, right? And these places, people do come in and intervene. We have government around to try and protect people from the excesses of very large companies. But for the smaller stuff, ideally,
I'm sorry, is that what they do?
ideally,
I thought they let them run for Congress.
Sorry, I'm from Europe. It's different there. I think it's just keep this in mind. If anyone like Foursquare is coming to you and saying, here's something really creepy, you should try it out, people are going to say no.
Well, there are philosophical differences between these services. For instance, if you take Gowalla, it forces you to check in where your phone actually is at your GPS location. Where on Foursquare, I can lie. I can say, hey, I'm really at the cigar bar.
But they've also had to change that a little bit because it was becoming too big of a hassle for people. It's kind of like the problem that Tom was talking about where, there's too much.
I still check, every time I go home, I check in at the Ritz, and I'm not at the Ritz. I live near the Ritz, and that messages to my friends in my neighborhood that I'm home, but it ain't my house. It's not my address. In Gowalla, I have to check in at my house.
But you don't really have to.
You have to use Gowalla. I don't use it. But part of the serendipity, part of the thing I get back from these things, I have friends in my neighborhood, and when I check in, it tells them I'm available for a drink, or for calling up, or for a chat, or for just going out and go bowling or something like that. It's a serendipity thing. And if I can't check in at home, which is the Gowalla answer, that removes my ability to do that with my friends in my neighborhood.
I think to put an end cap on the situation and in this particular part of the conversation, because there's so much more interesting, I think rest assured that all of us that are in the product side of things are at least doing what we can to think about privacy and to promoting it, whether that be through lying or whether that be through promoting the fact that if I am a user, that whenever I friend somebody, that I'm giving them my phone. That's something that hasn't been discussed, is that Foursquare built in privacy in that if you friend anybody on Foursquare, they have your phone number. And so if you don't want somebody to have your phone number, don't friend them on Foursquare.
That's got nothing to do with location, obviously. That's just a weird thing.
It's a built-in thing that promotes privacy. And I think that the thing to know is...
People realize that a bit more, but yes.
People don't realize that it's true. But for those of us...
Foursquare is, by the way, the best Rolodex for me that I've ever seen.
You also have 3,000 contacts.
I have 3,000 contacts who have given me their phone number.
I think that actually completely invalidated my statement, because I think that most of these people have no idea they're actually giving me.
I want to do a little quick group question.
How many of all about the surveys?
Yeah, I believe in the crowd.
You just said these people were really unrepresentative. Why are you asking the surveys?
You ask any of the crowd,
if you were to get any other 100 people together, none of them would say the word Gowalla. Yeah. That's all. So since that is our context, I'm fine asking it. How many people here utterly believe that between Gowalla and Foursquare, and we'll just use those two companies, that they will do the right thing in keeping your data perfectly private, and they've got it locked down?
I think Foursquare will.
You don't so one. Anyone else think that Foursquare and Gowalla will not make any mistakes? I'm not questioning intent. I'm questioning capability.
I kind of think that's a bit unfair because, you know, any...
Shouldn't it be the bar? Shouldn't it be the bar?
Well,
That should be
hold on.
Should it be the base
Bar for the U.S.
That's
military
assuming-
that leaves a laptop around and forgets that they just exposed the social security numbers of many service.
By the way,
Someone there, by the way, went to jail.
That's
right?
assuming that the leakage is going to come. Jeremy, that's assuming that the leakage is going to come from the company. When you hand a credit card to a waiter, where is the leakage in that? It's the waiter, right? So if you give me a phone number and I leak it to a friend, like MG calls me, hey, I don't have Mark Benioff's phone number, and I know you have his phone number in Foursquare, and I leak it, right? If I leak it, that's not Foursquare that's going to leak that cause the privacy rules to be broken. It's going to be a human contract.
We always know that human error will be the leading thing in data break. It always is. I'm not questioning that. But there's human error.